What's going on this week? All right. How about this?
Yeah?
For the first time I can remember, a balance patch was released for Bayonetta to improve on some of the stuff that we were complaining about.
I was
Um,
talking to Susie about this a couple days ago. The patch notes reads like somebody listened to our podcast segment and went down every complaint one by one and fixed them.
I never want to give us too much fucking credit for any of that dumb shit. However, the stuff they're fixing on Viola is definitely the shit that we were kind of fucking yelling about.
No, we're
Uh,
not responsible. What happens is we were able to correctly identify the problems that were known internally before the game shipped.
Fair enough. Um, so big stuff for Viola. And here's the thing too. I don't again. Am I wrong? But have they not ever done a
No.
combat balance patch
They have
post
done like
release?
minor fixes for like bugs that might have technically affected combat, but no, this is a balance pass.
Yeah. And like after like the population at large have gotten their hands on it is not usually a thing they do. Uh, Nonetheless, Viola has had major adjustments to make her better.
Much, much better.
Yeah. So the big stuff is the block witch time activation is now much larger. You can activate witch time after releasing block. There's just a much more forgiving window for it. Once you pop it, the time it's around for is longer, so it's no longer that completely short and useless feeling version of it.
Completely fucking nonsense, bullshit, piece of shit.
So witch time overall has been improved. The other thing as well is her dodge offset allows her to keep her charge from whatever button you've been holding as you
Didn't
continue.
even realize her dodge offset was broken because it was so bad.
Well, turns out you lost charge whenever you used it in the past. Now you no longer
Terrible.
do.
Terrible. We missed that one.
Um, yeah, if you keep blocking, then witch time duration decreases, but overall you get a huge boost to its length. Uh, if you activate block while getting attacked, you'll still take damage, but witch time will still get activated.
Hmm.
So bat within style timing.
Yeah.
And then what else did they change? They made it so that her dodge and summoning input for Cheshire um, from activating Assault Slave maintains invincibility if used in rapid succession. Her charge attacks, yeah, well, we mentioned that actually. And yeah, you can do Wink Slave from her PKP and PKK combos as well. Um,
I want you to correct me if I'm wrong on this because this is a I don't know how I feel about this.
oh, wait, hold on a second. That
Um,
was wrong character. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm aware of the reality of development. This game was not in dev for 8 years, right? Not really. Um, I still think it really, really fucking sucks that after like a 5+ year wait, we all blow through the game in like 3 weeks, and it is a significantly lesser experience, only to be fixed 6 weeks later, or what is it, 2 months later, with a series of balance changes that I'm sure were known about before the game shipped, before it went gold. So essentially, they finished the game a couple weeks late, and
Uh,
it's like this sucks.
it doesn't feel good, man. That's not the only things too. Like all those Niflheims we were complaining about,
Have all been rebalanced.
all rebalanced. Almost every single one on this list is like they added time, they increased the lives, they rebalanced all of those challenges to make a bit more sense. Um, and yeah, like a lot of that, like the part that the fact that it's been such a delayed thing makes it feel extra like
We
how
went
fucking
like 400 days with nothing.
how troubled was this development that after all that time, it wasn't a matter of like, oh, they got extra polish in, but more like they barely squeezed it out the door
Yeah.
with 8 years, of folks waiting. Is just
I was
like
like, yeah, they restarted it 3-4 times. I don't care.
the public doesn't know necessarily, the story of how this went.
Sure. So
There's always
how could they
there's always a
care?
reason. Yeah, there's always a reason for something like that. But that's exactly it. Is like there's this type of patch doesn't ever happen because usually things come out much more polished from them.
It's also frustrating because, like, okay, you're playing Mass Effect 3, right? So you're playing the third game in a franchise that every single one of those got significant patches, updates, DLC, onwards. And the version of Mass Effect 3 that you're playing right now is a significantly improved version of the one that came out.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of could be assumed to be the case based on prior games. Platinum games don't get massive gameplay overhauls. That like they don't that doesn't happen. It comes out and this is solid, this is how it's going to be, this is how it works. Okay. So now I'm in a position with Platinum games like, should I wait for the re-release or the fucking 1.0? Like, for fuck's sake, we spent 2 or 3 weeks talking about how you felt about Hades and going through it because you spent so much time in the early access version. I didn't expect for me to feel that way with Bayonetta.
Like, if there's a shot that Viola will get new weapons, like actually improve, like major changes. I mean, so the changes we've listed are big, but like I'm talking about like the flow of how it feels to play as her in a mission changing. That could convince me to want to go and see how that feels and take it for another spin. As it stands, the only reason I'd pop it back in would be to play as Jean.
Yeah, it's really strange, especially like, remember the interview we read where
and the
Camilla's,
witch
like,
trials,
stopped
which
complaining?
are apparently really good. Yeah.
Right? You remember the stop complaining Camilla interview?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you recognize that some of the fucking complaints were about stuff you were planning to fix when you said that out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
it must have been going through the approval process at that point in time.
And QA process.
For sure.
Like, this sucks. Like, it's really stupid because, hey, if you pick up Bayo 3, particularly playing through the Viola sections, you're going to have a better time than we did. But as people who supported the game on the day one after this ridiculous wait, like, it feels like I got bamboozled in that I got to play test the changes.
I mean, it's better than the game not getting any changes whatsoever, certainly.
It is.
But it is
But
very...
also, I mean, the name of the studio, Platinum Never Loses Its Luster.
Well,
it's starting to tarnish.
I mean, we did. Yeah, we've been fucking talking about that statement, unfortunately not aging well, which is the most ironic thing in the world. Is the nature of the statement is describing how actually it doesn't age. Anyway, so yay to, I guess, the game getting better.
Yes, particularly for people still playing or about to purchase it or getting it on sale at a later date, etc.
Now, if only someone could sneak in there and just find a couple of cutscene files and just
remove them.
Just shift delete, and then oops, what happened? File not found. Okay, credits roll. Damn, what a sick fight.
It's editing is such a cool part of games and film and books that it always, there's always this little devil in the back of my head. I'm like, would this be improved if this whole section was just gone? Not replaced, not moved.
The simplest version of it. Yep.
Just gone.
Entirely taken out. Sometimes, yes.
I bet you could totally cut those cut scenes harder and let's say you cut what happens to Jeanne, just cut it, and then you end the game I wonder what happened to Jeanne. Would that be better than the full cutscene?
if you cut the desert as a whole out and then just suddenly had Ball and Malphus in your party, like, I'd be like, that's weird, and wow, this is a bit shorter than I expected, but okay. Like, on we go to Paris, you know, like, I just, as a whole, there would be absolutely fucking nothing, no love lost.